Game number 2 is about to begin. It is the semifinals of MarineLorD versus Viper. Take us away.
Spawning in over on the left-hand side of the map, we have got MarineLorD playing on the Holy Roman Empire, going to be opening us up with a prelate and then a scout. He's playing in the color blue, and his opponent, who spawns in on the east side of the map in the color red, the one, the only, TheViper. And he is playing the French. I'm looking forward to seeing what he is going to bring out of the, what he's going to bring to the party today. Opening up with a scout. Opening by the looks of it, you can see he's got one scout heading out towards MarineLorD's base. Got the second one out around his base as well. And this is going to be Hill and Dale, which is probably one of the most defensive maps that you can get, Lidakor. And I'm looking forward because it's very rare that we see the French on this map. The last time we saw this matchup was Don Artie versus Doubt, game number 3, Genesis, round of 16. In fact, it was these were the positions as well. So yeah, let's see whether we have a French Fast Imperial that comes out today.
Well, that would be an interesting thing to see. Indeed, as you said, French is no longer popular on this map, not because it's a bad civilization here. In fact, it's a very powerful civilization because their economy is so powerful. And as you said, this map being well defendable means that the French can have one of the best booms in here. It's more about the fact that some civilizations like the HRE are not so suitable for open maps, whereas the French are. So it makes a lot of sense to pick a civilization that's good on this map, but not so good on open maps, and then use French there on open maps. Of course, here, Viper is going to decide by the French. It's not a bad civilization for this map, it's just something that is usually used on open maps. It's one of those situations where it's good at everything, so you gotta pick its best position.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like, and keep in mind, Boulder Bay has been banned out, but if it wasn't banned out, then you'd expect to see it there as well. It's one of those civilizations that, you know, obviously it's not as oppressive as the Mongols, but it's still a very flexible civilization. Can be used in a lot of different scenarios, a lot of different situations. So, yeah, great to see it picked on this map. I'm looking forward to it. When it comes to what we're going to see today, I'm expecting that we're going to see Viper going for. I'm going to try and call his strategy here. We're going to see a double town center fast castle, but I suspect there's probably going to be a knight or two getting out onto the map looking to deny those early relics or the early prelates looking to pick up the relics. So I would expect maybe we see 1 or 2 knights come out and then going up into that fast castle from the 2 town centers. But we'll wait, we'll see. He might have something different in mind. He might look to play a longer age 2, but that's always dangerous going up against the Holy Roman Empire. We can expect that MarineLorD's going to look to get up to the 3rd age, probably about 8 minutes, maybe a little bit before, and then start to get those knights out really quickly. He's got great relic spawns here, 2 very close to the base, the other one's in very neutral locations as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if he manages to pick up all 3 of those relics.
And the key thing here is that while technically the Regnitz Cathedral caps out at 3, so that's your goal, even if you just get 2 for the Holy Roman Empire, you already have a gold income advantage over your opponent, because 2 in the Regnitz Cathedral is going to be 600 gold per minute, as opposed to your opponent having 300 gold per minute if they pick up 3 into their monastery. So the minimum that you have to get here with the HRE is 2 in order to have the gold income advantage over your opponent from relics, but the ideal is at least 3, so you can max out the capabilities of the Regnitz Cathedral. Arcane Chapel coming in right now on the left side for MarineLorD in blue, and on the right side, as you said, we could see a couple of knights hit the field just so that Viper can control the relics, potentially even ferry in some deer with professional scouts if he feels like it. He is going to be aging up with 4 villagers in the School of Cavalry as well.
And can we just talk for a second about how good this Arcane Chapel is? This is probably one of the best Arcane Chapels you can get. This is the triple threat right here. This is on the wood line, which is exactly what you want. So you're going to be able to guarantee that you've got, you know, the next 3 or 4 lumber camps that are going to be guarded up or going to be secured by the Arcane Chapel. You've got a huge gold mine. I think this is an 8k gold mine that is right here for the rest of the game, basically, or at least as long as you're going to need it for the Holy Roman Empire. And then on top of that, you've also got the deer hunt that is right there as well. This is just huge for MarineLorD.
It is indeed a great Arcane Chapel out there. Part of the reason why it's so good is because he decided not to go for his primary small gold. He actually went for big gold, which is usually further away from the town center than your small gold is. But of course, this way his Arcane Chapel is gonna be a little more secure. MarineLorD has to be careful not to lose that scout to the ones from Viper. Another scout moving in here from MarineLorD. And for Viper, he's just checking out the gold mine of his opponent, and he's gonna be disappointed not to see anyone out there. First night, hitting the field for Viper in the next 10 minutes. Minutes?
Yeah.
Seconds.
I was going to say that is a very long train time on that first night. Yeah, it's going to be coming out very shortly. Not a lot of scouts out at this stage for Viper. Are we able to check in with Viper and see just how many resources he's got in the bank at the moment? I'm curious to see. He hasn't, by the looks of it, has he dropped down a mill at this stage or not?
Oh, it's just not
there
coming
it is
up.
now.
He's got 300 gold and he's still mining it, so I'm suspecting professional scouts over here. Wheelbarrow could also be part of the plans, as the scouts will trade off against each other. MarineLorD is in the danger of losing that one scout out there. If the night turns around, this scout could be history in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, but not pathing very well. Oh, jeez, it's so close, isn't it? Wasn't the best pathing there, unfortunately, for Viper. Did a little bit of a roundabout. So, yeah, one of the things in this game is instead of the units predicting where their enemy will go, they just run to where it is currently. And then you sort of saw that little, how would you say, little bow that they did, essentially. Wasn't the best.
The only thing in this game that predicts where the enemies will go are arrows, cannonballs, and mangonel fire.
That's true. That is very true. Mangonels do a great job of that. But yeah, now we see some spears going to be coming out from MarineLorD. So looking to get out early spears, protect this hunt. He knows it's important for him to maintain this hunt. Obviously, yet to pick up professional scouts like Viper actually going for horticulture here. So Viper with survival techniques and horticulture. Wow. This guy is on another level. I did not expect this coming into here. Like, I watched a team game with Viper, and he aged up to the second age and immediately started researching double broadaxe. Oh my god, he's doing it. He's walling in MarineLorD. Oh, it's beautiful,
Yep.
Lidakor.
It is beautiful. He's punishing MarineLorD playing very, very defensive, and the thing is that oftentimes you see players walling themselves in because they're like, okay, I need to protect myself against early aggression. MarineLorD feels so confident with his Spearman defense that he doesn't feel like he needs walls. But that means that these passages are not blocked, and anyone can build walls over here, like Viper. Now, it's going to be quite a lot of effort to make those happen, and this might be a very short-lived attempt here, because MarineLorD might be able to see that coming up in a matter of seconds. Indeed, here it goes. Style points are given to Viper, but that's all that we can say right now.
Yeah. You get a 5 out of 5 for effort, Viper. Well, actually, you know what? We'll give you a 7 out of 10 for effort, Viper. That wasn't wasn't too bad. But at the same time, he's able to idle this woodline, managing to take out a couple spears when he does it. Oh, good try, Viper. Good try. I did. The villager does manage to go down, so not a bad effort. But yeah, unfortunately, this front door going to be left wide open. And obviously, MarineLorD has already got the barracks out. He's going to be able to siege down these walls ever so slowly, but it's better than nothing. And it's going to make a very short work of it.
Exactly. At this point, it's next to impossible to completely prevent the HRE from picking up relics. So the best thing you can accomplish is slow them down as much as possible. Make sure that when Viper gets up to Castle Age, he still has time to pick up 3, potentially 4 relics out here. And now some archers are moving in for Viper as well, so MarineLorD has to be careful because suddenly those spearmen could be very exposed. He's got his own range as well, but I don't see a single archer from him just yet.
Yeah, very curious. We're yet to see any player really look at going up to the third age at this stage. And on this map in particular, it's rare that we see it. So Viper, as you mentioned, going to be looking to get out these archers out nice and early. You can see them struggling a little bit over here with the scout. The villager does manage to get taken out by the couple of scouts, and he does clean it up. But now Viper dropping down a gate for himself to get out because you've got old mate here, the villager, who's walled himself in. Got himself caught on the wrong side of the wall.
Is it the wrong side though? Like seriously, just think about it. Having a sneaky villager behind the base of MarineLorD, something it doesn't know about, could be immensely valuable. Looks like this villager is having a hard time finding the way out. It's not that complex. So
it can be tough, though. It can be tough. I mean, it is confusing to see what the gate looks like. Okay, it looks like he has determined that he has... There's no gate there. He's going to go down to the south. All right. Interesting gate.
Indeed. What I'm surprised about is Viper not keeping this guy around. This could be so frustrating to have over here. Imagine that you make a barracks here in the future, especially because I don't think this villager would have gotten spotted by MarineLorD if it wasn't right next to those walls inside. Now he gets spotted and it looks like he's going to take the scenic round around. He is gonna get away though, which, given the circumstances, is a big accomplishment for him. He's the only Voling villager that survived the encounter with MarineLorD's forces.
Yeah, a little bit curious. The guy that ran the gauntlet still managed to make it through when everybody else, unfortunately, lost their ways. But it looks like MarineLorD starting to gather up quite a few resources back behind this. He's sitting on 900 gold at the moment. Professional Scouts is coming in for him as well, so he's going to be able to steadily build up that bank of food. But now managing Viper to build up quite a significant mass here. We can see that Horsemen are also coming out for MarineLorD, but Viper got the numbers advantage, able to pick off a lot of these spears and going to be managing to get his knights onto the back line, managing to take out the archers of his opponent. A few spears remain, and now it looks like he's going to be able to try and clean that up, and Viper trying his best to get an early victory in here.
He is going very aggressive. He's actually doing the exact same thing that MarineLorD did to him in the previous game. French Knights and Archers is a deadly combination because those Knights are super powerful, they heal back over time, and of course the Archer support is great to pick off the Spearmen. Looking at the KDs real quickly, Viper has a slight lead over there, now he's got a forward position as well, so it really is going to be difficult for MarineLorD to break out of his base at this point. Viper, looking at his resources, he's far away from Castle Age though, versus his opponent. MarineLorD is slowly getting there. Running out of food though, and this is a serious concern. That's going to slow down his Castle Age timing quite considerably, because he really wasn't able to ferry in that much deer, and he already depleted his own hunt on the top of the hill.
Yeah, you can see he's slowly bringing in deer, but yeah, having to revert back to these farms, unfortunately for him, going to cost quite a fair bit to do that. Are we able to do a quick stock take, see where the village accounts are for these players? So we got 36 from MarineLorD at the moment, who is currently losing a scout, and Viper sitting on 38, was it? Did I say that right? 38? So yeah, 39 now. So a little bit of a villager lead. Obviously did manage to pick off that one villager on the wood line, but at this point in time, it looks to be like Viper's plan is going well. He's managed to keep his opponent in the second age, and that's exactly what he wants to do in this situation. But yeah, as you are pointing out, we can see that MarineLorD very close to aging up right now, has got that marker drop down in the base, so able to re-macro, spend a bit of that extra gold, buy up some food, and is going to be able to click up to the third age. Right now, Regnitz Cathedral has been dropped down in a relatively safe position in the back of the base.
Exactly, and he's trying to burn his way through these walls. At this point, you need at least 2 relics, as we discussed, so you gotta start burning down this wall on the left side for Viper, because it seems very difficult for MarineLorD to get those relics in through the middle. Viper's just got such a good establishment here in the middle with towers, some stables and ranges coming in, and Viper, he isn't far away from Castle Age either. As you said, 2 town centers is also a possibility for him. He's mining stone with only 1 villager, so slowly but surely he could get a second town center as well, or potentially some arrow slits on those towers, which he did for the one in the middle.
Yeah, definitely looks like he's managed to hold out in the middle here, has maintained a presence. How many hunts, or how many deer remain in that hunt just to the south of MarineLorD's base? Looks like there's about 2, and he is slowly getting them through, but Viper's set up a little bit of a blockade down here. You can see he's got the scout just sitting in the stealth forest, scouting this out and managing to see it. He calls out and says, hey, we got company. We got units on the way, and he's going to be heading over here and looking to pick this one off. And he actually drops down the deer carcass, and he says, I'm out of here. I'll see you later, and manages to get that scout out alive. So pretty nice work there from MarineLorD. He does get up to the third age now. Going to have those prelates heading out to look to collect those relics, but keep in mind, he is walled in at the moment, at least on his flanks. He's got the main door that is open, but that is being heavily guarded by Viper at this point in time.
Exactly, and Viper is getting up to Castle Age as well. This is what Viper wanted to accomplish here, just slow down his opponent to a point where the 2 players have relatively even Castle Age times. Even then it's going to be difficult because Viper still has to make a monastery, he has to start training monks, whereas on the other side you already have the prelates in for MarineLorD. So MarineLorD should still have a reasonable window to start picking up relics, but as you said, it's going to be quite difficult to pull off at the beginning because the only way for him to leave his base is through the main door.
Yeah, so I think it's probably a good idea if he tried to start sieging down that south entrance. That's at least going to allow him to get out, but it does look like he has picked up that first relic. Now going to be focusing his attention towards the middle here, where the archers have been upgraded through to veteran. He's got these knights out on the front line that he's not even going to need to upgrade because they are already age 3 knights. Managing to get back towards the tower, it's going to be able to provide that cover fire for his units here, and managing to get the veteran royal knights in. Viper looking to push out with quite a significant number of these. Also got the Arbalatrier out the back as well. I'm curious as to whether he spots that prelate down towards the south of his army.
I don't think he spotted it.
No, go for it.
I don't think he spotted it, but we have a more important matter here in the middle. French Knights charging in here, getting that extra bonus damage just for a successful charge. And Viper, as he said, Arbaletier will hit the field as well. The numbers seem way lower for MarineLorD now, and Viper also has an easier time reinforcing this battlefield. Has a tower with arrow slits firing upon the enemies here though, although now Viper's forces are slowly getting picked apart. This one crossbow is doing a lot of work here from behind.
Yeah, both players looking to get into the crossbows, but we can see that Viper's managing to hold on here just with his outpost, and it looks like that relic is going to get secured. We see that the prelate is making its way back in. Viper's going to call this one out with the scout, so he's going to know that it's there. So looking to see whether he sends down a single knight. He's got plenty of units out on the field. He could definitely do it, but I think he might have just given this one up for the time being.
Yep, that's going to be one relic to start with, and that's exactly the start that MarineLorD wants to have, but he needs at least another one. If he's able to secure some ground in the middle, this one should be accessible. And remember that Viper is not picking up the relics just yet, so there is still a large window here for MarineLorD. Looks like this prelate is just chilling for the time being, wait a tiny bit before bringing back that relic. And for Viper, he's mostly massing arbaletier and archers, but his numbers don't seem to be super convincing at this point, so unless there are some big reinforcements coming in here, this could be problematic for him soon.
Yeah, he's got a couple of units just sitting idly in his base at the moment. Take a look at that. It looked like about 5 or 6 units just chilling out of the front gate. So it looks like an archer, an arbaletier, a knight, an arbaletier as well. So he needs to bring those forward. That would really help out with his mass. Obviously, you mentioned it. It's not looking particularly overwhelming at this point in time, so he needs every little bit of help he can get.
Exactly, it is 18 army versus 18, but as you said, since Viper doesn't have some of his force on the battlefield, that could swing the battle in the favor of MarineLorD. Of course, it also depends on how much the arbaletier or the crossbows are able to focus down the opponent's knights and how much the archers are able to pick off the opponent's crossbows, so it all comes down to micro in this one in the middle.
Yeah, you can see the screening that's being done right now with the knights on the front line, just trying to screen for their respective crossbow brethren. We've got another knight running in from the south, coming in at full speed, taking out one of those arbaletier and just getting out of there, managing to get shot off before it did duck out. Obviously, Viper trying to keep these alive because they do have chivalry that is potentially going to be able to heal them back up to full health. Now it looks like MarineLorD able to come out of his base, breaking out of his shell a little bit once again and picking up a second relic. So slowly he is putting his Exodia together. Keep in mind, the Holy Roman Empire Exodia is the 3 relics and the Palace of Swabia. Once you get that, you pretty much always win the game. So we'll see how MarineLorD does it. Whether he looks to go up to that Imperial Age, whether he just looks to overpower his opponent in the 3rd Age, we'll have to wait. We'll have to see.
As you said, second relic coming in. And if you look at MarineLorD's gold income per minute, that's going to skyrocket now. And Viper's gold income isn't looking that spectacular. And that's going to hurt quite a bit when it comes to replenishing those knights and the arbaletier.
Yeah, it's a really big factor. Honestly, it's such a game changing landmark. Really, the Regnitz is very strong. I actually remember something Viper said on Twitter. He said that one of the changes he thinks it should be made. Actually, we'll talk about it later because we've got ourselves a little bit of a night fight right now. Players trying their best to hold off, a little bit of a screen coming in, but Viper outmassed significantly. It looks like he's still got units back on his wall back home. This is not the best situation for him. Still, these units sit idly by 4 units back. Unfortunately for him, he's got units in his tower as well. He's trying to get out, but he is completely outnumbered, outgunned, outmassed, and the Holy Roman Empire is looking incredibly strong in this 3rd Age.
And MarineLorD is moving out for relic number 3 here. He has the window to even break through the left side here, so he could just break through those walls and doesn't even have to bother about these forces, but he's slowly taking down the towers of Viper. By taking down towers, he's going to take 2 villagers with him as well. And if the other tower gets taken down, a couple more archers get killed as well. So really, MarineLorD's position is improving every minute right now.
Yeah, this is looking better and better for MarineLorD. I'm really starting to wonder. And it looks like Viper is tapped out for the second game now. MarineLorD victorious, taking the series to 2-0 and a match point. There is a potential victory that is on the line for the next map, Lidakor.
Indeed, and that is going to be an open map, something that MarineLorD felt really confident in. I was looking at this battle and I was like, oh shoot, if Viper loses this, he's in trouble, because this actually started out the way he imagined it. He had the advantage, he managed to wall in his opponent, and he did such a masterful job controlling the relics. It really felt like MarineLorD will have trouble picking up those relics, but even with that, MarineLorD was gradually able to grind down that army.